Tim here with the Jacks of all trades, and I'm going to show you guys how to install a light once the wire is pulled outside. All you're going to need is a 3/0 cut-in box. You're going to need a 3 5/8 hole saw, some kind of drill to be able to run it. And of course, you're going to need a volt tester stick, what we call a hot stick, to make sure there's no power. Let's jump up here and I'll show you how it's going to work. Okay, first thing you want to do is, even though the switch may be off, you may think you turned the breaker off, is you're going to want to turn on your hot stick and make sure that you rub it completely all over this wire to make sure there is no power. Because the last thing you want to do is take your hole saw, drill into a wire, and then get zapped. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to make sure we don't hit this wire. Now, you should have siding and sheeting and whatever else in the way. So if you're doing this yourself and you poked it in from outside, I've already got everything in there. I'm going to take something long and skinny, push that in there. Now, I know that I drilled this hole out exactly where I wanted the hole to be, but I drilled it off slightly to the edge. So I'm going to take this 3 5/8 hole saw, I'm going to take the wormer, and I'm going to set it up just to the right of the hole so that the original hole is completely covered with the hole saw. Now, this hole saw is pretty smoked, so it's going to be interesting to see if it'll go. And then I'm going to gently get it started so it doesn't, you don't want it to chatter or bounce and mark up your siding. So you want to go slow to start with. Okay, now that you've done that, what you want to do is you want to reach in and you want to pull your wire back out. Now we're going to get our 3/0 box and we're going to show you how to put that on. Okay, so a 3/0 box means it's a 3-inch circle. I like using these because they fit with every light. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get the wire in this, and we're going to have to get this in the hole and then tighten it up so that the wings grab for us. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wire, first thing I'm going to do is put the wire in the hole. Okay, then I'm going to take these wings. You want to bend them out so that they'll grab wood, but then you want to push them in. The other thing you want to do is you never want to have these straight. You always want this at an angle because the way the lighting brackets work later when we hook up the light, I'll show you. You got to get your trusty rubber hammer out. So you can see that these metal slips are still in there. So what we need to do is we need to push this bracket in. So you just tap the screw in. Now that you've tapped this screw in, you want to tighten it. So now that this box is securely fastened to the wall, now we can work on setting up the light fixture. All right, so now that we got the box in, I went ahead and put a couple of drywall screws in here just to hold this for a minute. Usually you would use square drive or whatever, but these were a hand on hand to show you guys how to do it. Did them opposite, with this thing being at a 45 and a 45. It'll come in later when we do our knife bracket or our light bracket. Now I've got the knife. I'm gonna reach in here and I'm gonna strip this out. I like to use a hook knife, been using it for years. And what you do is you make a small incision just using the tip, because the goal is not to cut the wires, but to only cut the sheathing. You make one mark there, and you make one mark there. I like to hold it tight because I know that there's a lot of extra wire in there. And then I push, oh, nope, sorry, got to do it again here because we had extra slack in there I forgot to pull out. All right, and then you always remove, now that you got it all stripped out, you want to always remove all the paper. And remember, there can never be more than 1/4 of an inch of sheathing in the box, because that paper in theory can catch fire and set the whole wire on fire, is what code says. Now we're going to set this up for working. So you get your wire strippers out. You need 4 inches of wire, maybe a hair more. Put that there. And I like using these particular strippers for lots of reasons. I did a video on that if you want to go back and see why I choose these strippers over other strippers when I'm working with non-metallic NMB, also known as Romex or electrical house wiring. Okay, now this is all stripped out. Now let's go down here and check out this light. Okay, this is just a standard light like you get from Lowe's. The box got a little wet, but it's going to work just fine for what we're trying to do here. So we're going to go ahead and open this thing up and get all the pieces out. So you get tightened on there nice and tight. And then you bend it. So look, it's going to look like a cool little lantern light. Okay, now you'll see it comes with these weird little orange wire nuts. I don't trust them, so I don't use them. We're going to use some tan wire nuts that I do trust. All right, let's head back over to the light and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, hey, while we were unboxing the light, did somebody come turn the power on? Nope, there's no power. That's important. You never know when somebody's going to come turn, even with a lockout kit, you just can't trust anything, but especially when you're doing it at home. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to hang this light here. So they have this little nut. This nut is to adjust the depth of this. I like to loosen it back a little bit because I'm not a big fan of it not being able to move all the way in when I hook the light up. Next, we are going to move the wires out of the way. And we are going to, not all of them work like this, so you always want to set it up at a 45-degree angle so that all your screws can go all the way in if it's on a different kind of bracket. So now I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'm going to screw it in. Oh. So these two sets of holes are different sizes. You want to make sure you get the ones that are the size for the screws that comes with it. These ones happen to be 832 screws if it doesn't come with screws, or if you need longer ones. All right. So now we got that done. Gonna pull this off because we got to save this for later. I'm gonna set that right here on my ladder. Now we're gonna take this ground wire. We are gonna hook it up to this ground screw. That way. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hook up this light fixture and get it ready to hang. So we're going to come over here. Now, color for color, white for white, black for black. And then bare wire to bare wire. It's all right, I drop everything. It's okay. I'm going to fold all these wires up in the back. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the nut on here to make sure that it's nice and tight and set up. Okay, now we're going to put a light bulb in. Now we're going to put the glass in. How this works, you got to take these little pegs, these little screw pegs out. Oh, I'll pick that one up in a minute, I guess. Don't drop the glass, don't drop the glass, holy smokes. Line them up, put them back. Okay. We got these all tight. We want to make sure everything looks nice and straight. Get everything lined up as best you can. And then most importantly, now we're going to go in, turn the power back on and see if it works. All right, so now we're going to reach in here and turn the light on. Yay, the light works. This is how you install an exterior light fixture. If you want to know how to do some other things, check out the rest of the stuff on our channel and the other videos we've done over time. Check it out.